Finland by Digiroad. So what I did before here is to download using this overpass query, which you can find on the help page of PT Assistant. So here in the middle of Finland, I downloaded that. Okay, so I have a skeleton of ways that are part of bus routes and all the bus stops. Digiroad uploaded those stops. The first thing I'm going to do, I created a special style. So here, if you click here on this palette and then there on the settings, then you can go here to Digiroad, where you there, and add this style. Okay. What I did then is control find, and I wanted to find everything that had digiroad.fi. So I find all of those and I added those to the to-do list here. Then I can zoom to the first one, and then you see immediately what the style is doing. Oddly, there is a problem with the style, so I'm going to use a local version. The stops that are not from Digiroad are having the normal bus stops signs, and the newly imported ones that have a direction tag, they get these arrows. Okay. So that's the first step. Now with all these 233, yeah. So first, let's put some imagery on here. I think Esri is quite good here. Yeah. Okay. So then what we want to do is to use normal downloads. Now these here have a node moved, which is totally odd. So that doesn't make sense to put node moved on there, but okay. They also have a source tag, which also shouldn't be there. When I edit them, this will be removed automatically. The node tag I would have to remove, when I edit them at least. Okay, so let's find some other ones. Look at the history. This is a version 1. Okay, so bench no, departures board no, direction 100. Okay, so direction 100 means that the arrow points a little bit. This would be 90, I guess. This 9. So this stop is going in that direction. So what we're going to do now? Why is it constantly switching off my style? And what is going on with my imagery? Strange. Let's select Bing. Okay, so what we see here is 2 stops. And let's download some more data around there. Not with the overpass, but with the normal OSM downloads. So now I have all the ways there. What I see here is that there is a bus bay and there is a shelter. So if I click on this stop, well, I can actually zoom to it here. Shelter, yes, okay. So I can actually see that shelter there. Now the first thing I can do is to move this stop. Then I can remove this direction tag. Then it becomes a normal bus stop. What's that? Why is that there? Is that also uploaded? Uh-oh. That should not be there. So apparently there were also some non-bus stops uploaded. Let's try to find Digiroad and tags. Well, they do have. Well, they're not highway bus stop. Okay, not too many. Okay, so those that don't have highway bus stop tag, highway cycleway. Okay, so that one can stay, but there is this other one, this bus stop here. So we have the actual bus stop, and then we have this node that shouldn't be there. So that goes away. Okay, so we move this one to where it's supposed to be, and then we can remove the direction tag and the source tag. Here too, the direction tag is already gone. And as soon as the direction tag is gone, then the arrow also disappears. So then it becomes a normal bus stop. Then what we can do is to improve this way a little bit here. The reason why I'm doing that is going to become apparent very quickly. This is odd. This cycleway ends in the middle of nowhere. So it should also be connected like that. Okay. So, back to the bus stops. What I did with PT Assistant, this looks like, no idea what that is. What I did in PT Assistant is to create a double split map mode. So if we do click, it's going to ask us, do you want to add a bridge? No, we want to add a bus bay. And then now this has been split in two places, and bus bay right was added. And the style is showing that. Okay. Then if we do B, we can draw a building. Now, if you're going to draw a building, then it's probably not going to become amenity shelter type public transport. But if you go here to data, set building size, advanced, then here it will say building yes, and that's where you can put your own tags. So then it becomes a lot more convenient to draw bus shelters. Okay, so that's that. What we also could do, but I don't know if that is. If you know the place and you know that there is actually a platform there, you could also add highway platform. And then here is also an extra way that comes here and it goes there, so you could add that kind of detail too, but I'm not going to do that. Can improve the geometry of the way here a bit. Since I split, it's going to get a new version anyway. So here. Then here. There also seems to be like a parallel way that normally I would also map that. Would it be a cycleway? I cannot distinguish. If you look at here, this is indeed a cycleway. So maybe over here, this is also cycleway then. And then it would make sense to connect this cycleway over there. Okay, then this is, yeah, that's a pedestrian crossing actually. Yeah, anyway, so okay, so that bus stop here. First one to get the geometry right. That bus stop here also has a bay, so I'm also going to use this double split method. But since bus bay right worked before, then I'm pretty sure that this will be bus bay left. There. And then we have a bus stop here going north. Here is a shelter. So I can add the shelter. And I can move the bus stop. Then I can remove direction and source. Shelter, yes, it's good. Bench, yes. We could add a note here and say that this is amenity bench. Amenity bench. There, so now the bench is there too. And when adding these bus stops, I would take advantage to also improve the rest of the geometry around it. Of course, if you start, then there is no end to that. So it's a bit of a balancing act to define how far we will go with that. Okay, so here again there seems to be like a bus bay. So I'm going to use my double split method again. Bus bay right, but it's not a bus bay right, it should have been a bus bay left. There. Mhm. So those are those three stops. The E and the P and the I, if they have a meaning, I would also expand that. But yeah, I don't know if they do have a meaning. There is another node there that shouldn't be there. But why didn't I find that one? That's strange. If I use my search for Digiroad.fi, that is not a bus stop, but that is type node. Yeah, then I find this one too. So that one shouldn't be there. Okay, so that is how I would proceed with mapping these bus stops during this import process. Does this one have a shelter? No, so no shelter there. I don't know if that is a platform or not. So depending on whether you know, you could add a platform there as well. Yeah, what I do know is that this here seems to be a cycleway that starts here. And here, yeah, it's not exactly becoming part of that highway. The reason why I'm drawing this one is going to become apparent soon as well. Yeah, and here it goes on. Here you could decide to also, if there is a separator or not. Depending on that, you could decide to make it merge here. And remove that node. This one is a highway cycleway. And then this one is split. And here we say cycleway lane, but actually a cycleway right lane. Let's follow it a bit. There is still a lot of work to do to improve that geometry. And then here we're already at the next bus stop. The way to improve the geometry is easier if you use W. And you get this rubber banding thing, which is really convenient. So yeah, we're adding bus stops, but at the same time, becomes possible to improve all the rest as well. And with this functionality, this improve way accuracy plugin with the rubber banding, it's actually almost trivial to do. But yeah, it's a larger effort than simply dumping the bus stops onto the map. Also here, apparently the cycleway is stopped. So we'll have to have a look. Where did, so we can go on. Oh, yeah, okay, we could go on all the way over there. There are several bus stops to add. So, but where? So I'm trying to go back here. So here the cycleway was separate. Then it became part of that highway. Control, I can add nodes to this highway. Here the cycleway splits off again. And then it merges again. So this one, I could use double split too, but there. Then P. So I can split that way in several places at the same time. This one, cycleway lane, is not there. There we have a highway crossing. This is a highway cycleway. I can double click here. Here I still see the cycleway. And here I don't see it anymore. So somewhere here the cycleway stops. So I split that way too. And then no more cycleway there. By removing this direction tag from the bus stops after moving them, after moving them to where they're supposed to go, it becomes apparent which ones are already done and which ones aren't. No shelter there. So then that one is done, but there does seem to be some kind of an bus bay. So let's add a bus bay. Desktop does have a shelter. Also a bus bay. That's not the right side, so bus bay left. Next bus stop. And there is double split here as well. I should have known by now. Left. Okay. This functionality for double splitting those ways is coming from the PT Assistant plugin. So if you want that, you have to go here, plugins, and then there you start typing PT, and then you'll find PT Assistant there. The double split method is not all that it does. Let's do a bit more than that. Um, it's actually quite handy if you want to map public transport with JAWSM, or at least it's supposed to be. Again, double split. And so on and so on. So I'm going to follow this whole way and map all those bus stops and move them. And then I'm going to stop. Otherwise, there is nothing. You won't have anything to do anymore during the mapathon. So this one still has its bearing on it. So here I can easily see which ones are still in need of processing for more. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So thank you for watching. Bye.